Why don't we talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi? Stay tuned. Hi guys, it is me, and I'm here with a quick video about Obi-Wan Kenobi, because that show ended recently, and I'm not like one of these people who immediately launches a video. I know I should, that's how everyone gets successful and stuff, but I was letting it percolate for a bit, and I thought, let's have a chat about Obi-Wan Kenobi, because that's one of the big things that's been out recently, and I think it's worth a discussion. I'm drinking Angry Orchard tonight to accompany this. I like a nice bit of hard cider. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, I was super beyond excited for this show. I've often talked about being a Star Wars fan, and I am, but mostly it's because it is a really strong connection to my brother, who passed away. You know, when I was growing up, I thought my brother was the most awesome person in the world. He was like 8 years older than me, and he was very indulgent, and I used to be obsessed with Star Wars, had all the Star Wars toys, and he used to play Star Wars with me all the time. And one of the coolest things that he used to do is he used to reenact the Star Wars stories of like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker and stuff. I guess he'd read the books or something, because this is still the 80s. And he would reenact what he'd learned in the books for me, so I could like learn the story of Star Wars. And Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, you know, my brother would reenact a fight in which Anakin Skywalker got thrown into lava by Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's why he has to wear the suit and be Darth Vader, you know, 10-15 years before they actually made the movie of that. So it was a really deep connection to my brother. So Obi-Wan Kenobi in particular has always been a character I've really had a lot of attachment to, and I love the prequel movies. I know people make fun of them, but first of all, I went to those with my brother, and we used to do lightsaber fights. Well, the first one I went with my brother, and we used to do lightsaber fight outside with like rolled up tubes. And it's another connection I have, and I loved Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought he was brilliant. Really loved him as a character. He was ginger, of course, and he had a beard. And as you get older, and you know, you deal with the complexities of life, like the lore of the Jedi, and the idea of like trying not to be attached to things and be mindful of your feelings and all that, it's actually really good advice to live by. And so Obi-Wan was a character who resonated with me very deeply. And I thought they wrapped up the whole story at the end of Revenge of the Sith really neatly. And to me, I was like, one and done with it. So I don't think they needed to have an Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but as soon as they announced it, I was like, Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yes, please. And so this show really couldn't have gone wrong for me. I was just like, if I get to see Obi-Wan Kenobi played by Ewan McGregor wielding a lightsaber one more time, I'll be happy. And then they announced that Hayden Christensen was coming back to be like Darth Vader. And you saw the interviews, and he was so enthusiastic about it. And, you know, people derided his performance. And I watched these movies endlessly with my kids, and I have to admit, his performance was comes across as very, like, angsty, adolescent type thing. So, yeah, we watched the Clone Wars shows with my kid, and then whoever does the voice acting of Anakin Skywalker in that just plays him as such a badass. It's almost like he would be a better Anakin than Hayden Christensen was, except I got excited by the idea of Hayden Christensen coming back, because he was excited about coming back. It's the same with Spider-Man No Way Home. It's like, I was excited to see these actors come back, because, you know, Tobey Maguire I missed and I loved, and he was my Spider-Man, and then Andrew Garfield, I never really got into those movies, but I felt I kind of got robbed of that third movie, and I've really liked the fact that, you know, he loved that role, and then to see them brought back was so satisfying. And for me, like, seeing Hayden Christensen come back and be so enthusiastic about this was just, yeah, it warmed my heart. It warmed my heart. It just made me excited to be a part of it. And so I watched the show, and I thought it was great. Maybe not great. I did think it was great. It was great. It was okay. It was 6 episodes, and it had a really coherent story of Obi-Wan Kenobi living on Tatooine, spying on his protege, I guess you could say, Luke, and Owen not liking him, and that was good. And then it was actually kind of clever and made sense how Reva, the Inquisitor, would kidnap Princess Leia, not knowing that she was Anakin Skywalker's child, but knowing that that would lure Obi-Wan Kenobi out. That made sense to me. And I loved the character progression of Obi-Wan Kenobi, doubting himself and getting his butt kicked and really being a reluctant hero into who he becomes when he actually rescues Princess Leia. And you got to see him do like the Obi-Wan spin and be a complete badass Jedi one last time. Wasn't that amazing, fun to do? And then you had him escape, and you had the moment of sacrifice. To this point, like, it's a very satisfying story, because literally someone sat down like I do when I plot stories and said, okay, we've got 8 points on Dan Harmon's story circle, how are we going to do it? And they go through each one. So episode 5, I think it was, when they're struggling to escape this planet, and the double agent Imperial lady, I can't remember her name, sacrifices herself. It's like, there, that is number 7 in the story circle. And it was kind of, for me, I was able to dissect it as a script and stuff like that, and really respect the craftsmanship that went into it. And as a viewer, and as someone who just wants to be entertained, it is relentlessly entertaining, because it follows a really satisfying story system. And it all climaxes with the fight between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, which of course got foreshadowed by the flashback where we got to see Hayden Christensen again. Yay. And Obi-Wan triumphs. And it was brilliant. The more I discuss it like this, the more I respect what it was as a product. It was really satisfying, and I loved it. And that bit where Obi-Wan Kenobi smashes his Darth Vader's mask open, and you see Hayden Christensen's face, and he says, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did. And does that smile. To me, that was just really satisfying. And it was like getting something I didn't know I wanted. And a lot of people then are like, why didn't he kill Darth Vader and stuff like that? Because, I don't know, have some freaking empathy for somebody. Poor old Obi-Wan Kenobi was stuck there with his friend at his knees, except his friend wasn't his friend anymore, he was this monster. And yeah, I don't think you need to justify why he didn't cut down his friend in cold blood. And if you did, you could say, well, Darth Vader wouldn't have been able to pursue him, but a Sith, desperate Sith, is probably more dangerous than anything else, so it would have been stupid to fight him. I don't know. I loved the way the fight went, so that Obi-Wan Kenobi turned the tables on Darth Vader by using his emotions and his arrogance against him, like he did on Mustafar, like he did in the fight that we got foreshadowed, the flashback earlier in the episodes. It was great. It was just a really satisfying movie. And it wasn't even a movie, it was a series. Just saying, and I think it wrapped up really neatly. Is there going to be a series 2? A season 2? I don't know. It's one of those things. I have come to the stage where I'm like, I think it's worth making it and doing something really, really bad, rather than just not make it because you think it's perfect without it being made. I don't know, you can always ignore continuity if you don't like it. But it was fun getting the gang back together. That being said, I don't think it was perfect by any means. The one real criticism I have of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is they use, I think it's called the Space, which is the same digital technology that they use for The Mandalorian and for the Book of Boba Fett, where they have these LED screens that sort of take up 75% of the room, and they film the action there, and then the LED screens with an Unreal-based 3-dimensional background can be used to do live blue screening. It's genius. It's brilliant. I think it's going to revolutionize cinema. However, in this instance, I don't think they used it right. Like in the Book of Boba Fett, I even did a video about this where I was talking about how this kind of technology makes it so much easier to have really intimate scenes. Because really, to get the most of the background, it has to still be, fairly closely done. I don't think you could have more than, like, if you imagine Boba Fett's between the fingers, you couldn't really have that much more scale before you need to start doing CGI around the backgrounds and stuff like that. So it works really well in the intimacy of storytelling. When you've got Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader involved, though, you don't want to have the intimacy of storytelling. You want it to be grand and epic. So I was thinking just that one scene in particular where all of the rebels from the path were like hunkered down in this bunker behind this big impenetrable shield, and then there was Darth Vader and the stormtroopers waiting outside trying to get in. It's like that should have been presented with the cinematography of the scene in Star Wars, The Last Jedi, where Kylo Ren is outside this rebel bunker and Luke Skywalker comes out and has this big showdown. It's like that was filmed on a huge scale, like looking up, seeing this bunker here. It was really weird because in Obi-Wan Kenobi it was kind of this, it was very much the same story, and I think that was deliberate. However, it was shot much more tightly, and it just made it seem kind of like small scale. And I don't want to say cheap, but it did kind of make it feel cheap, which is ironic because I don't think it's necessarily cheap. I think it just is a lack of vision in the cinematography. We generally saw like very tight focuses of this big door. When we saw the stormtroopers, we saw like 24 stormtroopers, and you think to The Last Jedi they had like hundreds of stormtroopers on either side and big AT-AT things and stuff like that. And the irony is, even on a TV show, even on a limited budget, even using like the space technology, computer graphics these days mean even somebody with my skills would be able to like composite a thing to look as cinematic as it was in The Last Jedi. So I was really confused why they didn't do that. I honestly just think it was like a lack of vision. But to me, the one criticism I had is Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of felt like small and constrained and cheap, like a television show, when it didn't have to be, and it shouldn't have been. And I don't know. That was my criticism of it. I'd be interested to know. Drop a comment down below if you agree with me or not. I mean, watching the Book of Boba Fett again with my middle child, because he loves that, and I mean that didn't look cheap. But something about Obi-Wan Kenobi did. Now, I think there were some CGI shots as well when they had the two land speeders that came to rescue him. There was one CGI shot when I was like, wait a second, that looks really weird, that does. So I don't know, maybe they banged it out quickly. I mean, it was great though, it was really good, and at the end of the day, it's all about, the entertainment value rather than the special effects. Like, we loved Doctor Who from the 70s, even though the special effects were ridiculously bad because of the stories. And this was a really good story, and I enjoyed it. But more than that, I'm happy it exists. I'm really happy it exists. I wish my brother was alive to have seen this, because it would have been really satisfying to chat to him about it. Because Star Wars has that thing that created that bond between us. And so everything new they make of Star Wars, I'm always kind of like a little sad about it, because I'm like, oh, you would love this, Rubes. Boba Fett's got his own TV show. Isn't that amazing? Obi-Wan Kenobi gets his lightsaber out again. Yeah. So I'm very happy it exists. I'm very happy we live in a time in which all of these different creative projects are being given life. Spider-Man No Way Home was a movie that shouldn't have existed. Obi-Wan Kenobi as a show shouldn't have existed. But people at Disney and technology with this space and business deals, like George Lucas selling the rights to it, it meant it happened. And it was wonderful that it happened. And I'm so happy to have watched it. And I'm grateful for that. I mean, look at me, I'm a hairless ape clinging to a rock, travelling through space at 70,000 miles a second. And over the course of the 100,000 years of Homo sapien dominance, I happen to have been born in that tiny segment of time where I got to see Obi-Wan Kenobi. How lucky am I? Right. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on the matter. Love to know what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree that it kind of looked a bit cheap and TV-ish? Do you think I'm talking crap? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. This was fun. I enjoyed this. Cheers. I'll be back with another video very soon. Bye. I'm Roland Hume. I've sold 67,000 copies of my books. If you want to find out how I did it, I've got a link right here you can click. And otherwise, don't forget to subscribe. I've got more videos coming soon. Thank you.